Join me now, co-founder and chief strategist at GDP Advisors, Seth Denson. Seth, it's great to see you. So, Seth, I'm young enough to remember when we were talking about trillion-dollar bills and how shockingly high that cost would be. Right now, it's like, oh, well, they passed this trillion-dollar bill. It seems like no one important's even like batting an eye here.
Well, that's exactly right. And listen, sometimes my heart goes out to Jen Psaki. She has an impossible job to go out there and convince the American public something that we all know is false, that this type of spending is going to continue to have a negative impact on the overall inflationary structure. And secondarily, President Biden was out there touting this infrastructure bill and it's bipartisan, how great it is. Well, the American public just isn't convinced, and they're not convinced because if it was so great, why did Democrats hold it hostage for 3 months? If it was that great for the economy, we should have done it 3 months ago. Why wait? And so I think that the White House has a big selling job ahead of them, not just on the bill that was signed yesterday, but the bill that they want to get signed very soon.
So when they say that it's going to cost $0, what does that mean to you? Because
it means they're lying.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I interpret that as fake news. I mean, they lie a lot, and Biden's really excited. He's going to get this country on the right track. Okay, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, listen, it tells me that they do not understand basic economics at all, that they've never run a business, that they don't understand this, or that they're just flat out trying to lie to convince the American public of something that ultimately is false. Nothing can't cost money. There's no such thing as a free lunch. We all learned that in grade school, right? And so if you're going to spend trillions of dollars, that has to come from somewhere. I know that Democrats love this modern monetary theory that money really isn't real, that we're just creating it, but the reality is it's going to cost something. We're experiencing that right now. The trillions that we infuse into the economy over the pandemic, Americans are feeling it now. I assure you, every American that's gone to the grocery store recognizes that that infusion of cash is costing them something, and so will this.
Yeah, there is a meme that I shared yesterday. It's of a man, and he's given a thumbs up. He's like, I got a 1% raise, but inflation 6.1%. And so it's
I think I liked that meme. I think I liked your tweet because, yeah, I love
exactly.
it.
I mean, that's what's going on here. We hear Biden talking about how wages are going up, and cool, that's great. But that if you're competing with the 6.1 inflation, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. It's actually, you're ending up with less here. You don't have to be a mathematician to figure that out.
Well, that's right. And prices don't go down. I think the White House was trying to do that. Prices don't ever go down. They just go up less fast when inflation gets under control. But we're nowhere getting inflation under control. Listen, the lead was buried last week when they were talking about 6.2% inflation. The real message should have been that was over a 0.9%, almost a 1% increase from the prior month. If you annualize that, we're talking about an over 10.8% overall inflation rate over the next year. And no one out of this administration has convinced me how they're going to get it under control.
Well, some of them, they make jokes about it. They laugh about it. They think it's funny. And for, the elite, maybe they don't feel it as much as regular Americans who have a balance that they have to check in with every week when they go to the grocery store, when they pay their bills, or a budget, if you will. And so a lot of these elitists, they just can't relate, and they think it's funny, and they haven't offered zero solutions. And so these $1 trillion bills that they're trying to pass through isn't going to help. It's not going to help. And they're still working on Build Back Better. That's part 2 of this whole infrastructure, human infrastructure, if you will, the socialist programs. And they're trying hard. Where do you think that one's going to go? Do you think that's going to pass? Do you think they're going to have the support that they need to get that through?
I think that they might get something through. How much and what, I have no idea. Listen, this all hinges on Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, and specifically Joe Manchin. I think he's been the most vocal about his opposition to this, and I hope he holds true to the commitments he's made, that right now is not the time. That being said, we've all been around Washington enough, Stephanie, I know you have too, to see how sausage is made, and there are deals to be had. And I think that if Joe Manchin feels like there's a good enough deal that allows him to save face with his constituents, he may support something. Will it be as big as it is now? I don't think so. I hope nothing goes through, but I'm thinking that there will be something.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. Well, Seth, we're going to leave it here. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Of course.